All right, the Minnesota Vikings kicking competition is officially over. Welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus. Minnesota Vikings have crowned their kicker for 2023. We're going to talk about that very soon. Before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. Become a YouTube member. If you haven't not yet done it, go to Underdog Fantasy, drop the promo code SKOL to get your first deposit up to $100 match. We're going to be starting a couple leagues. Email onebarlupagus@gmail if you have interest in joining those. And we'll start filling those out here probably starting next week or the week after. All right, Minnesota Vikings kicking competition is over. Greg Joseph is your winner. Crowned today when the team officially cut and or released, whatever you want to say, Jack Podlesny, the Georgia undrafted free agent kicker, is out of here. Let's talk about the kicking competition before we get into who the Vikings brought in to replace Jack Podlesny's spot on the roster. But it seemed like it was more of a battle than people were actually expecting, with Jack Podlesny not having an overly great college career as far as, beyond 48 yards. But he hung around. Last year, the Vikings brought in Greg Burkick, and he was cut before OTAs even started. So Podlesny lasted much farther. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't give him a chance to kind of match or do a little rebuttal to what Greg Joseph did last week in Seattle when he hit a 54-yarder. I think it was like a 36-yarder too and hit his extra point. But apparently that was enough. Vikings have seen enough. Jack Podlesny is gone. Again, I would like to see him at least get a chance to kick a field goal in a game. That didn't happen. He's just going to be a vague memory of Vikings fans moving on. So Greg Joseph will be your kicker. Like it or not, he's going to be the man kicking field goals. And, last year he was money when it counted. Yeah, he missed some extra points that kind of let some teams hang around. But when the game was on the line, Greg Joseph came through. So hopefully he can do that again in 2023. And Jack Podlesny will now go on to probably become the greatest kicker in the NFL, as some team will sign him and suddenly he'll just catch on like fire. Because that's what happens with the Vikings and kickers. Once you let them go, they become amazing somewhere else. So let's talk about the guy the Vikings signed. Another running back, Aaron Dykes. Aaron Dykes, Vikings worked him out a couple weeks ago when they brought in Abram Smith. They've been kicking tires on a lot of running backs. You see Kareem Hunt, Mike Davis. They go with these younger guys. Aaron Dykes, he was undrafted out of Richmond. He ran for 777 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, caught 29 passes for just under 200 yards. So a little bit of a versatile back, can do both. So he's your newest Minnesota Vikings running back. And now it really makes you wonder, with another addition to the Vikings backfield, how injured is Kenny Ngwangu? Is he is he not going to be ready for the season? Do they want him not hitting any single sniffs? Is there too much of a workload for the guys who are getting there? Is that why they bring another running back? I don't know, but it's very, I don't want to say it's concerning, but at least makes you think what's going on here with Kenny's health, because he's the guy who's not out there on the field. So Aaron Dykes, Dwayne McBride looked pretty rough last Saturday in Seattle, running, in my opinion, very scared. We'll see if Aaron Dykes can come in and look a little more confident. Who knows if he'll get much of a sniff against the Titans this week. He may not. We'll see. He just got here, so he's still got a lot of learning to do. But Aaron Dykes is your newest Minnesota Viking. Jack Podlesny is out, and Greg Joseph is your Vikings kicker for 2023. Crown him, and we're going to ride and die by Greg's leg again. So every Vikings fan will be collectively holding their breaths when he lines up to kick. But you know what? We've been through this once before, and we can do it again. All right, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about the Vikings cutting Jack, keeping Greg, and signing Aaron Dykes? And also, keep your skull in your hole.